Hey, how's it going? Um, I'm not going to talk about that incident, but I am going to talk about something adjacent to it. If you're looking for the previous video, it's gone. I deleted it. And the reason I deleted it, I'm about to get into now without making any direct reference to that incident, right? It's occurred to me that when it comes to people in the entertainment business, we have become just a bit too entitled to their lives. Even the people who don't care about what, even the people who don't claim they don't care about them or don't care about what they do, there's an entitlement there as well. At the root of this is a very specific scientific phenomenon with what happens when we're exposed to something. When science shows, right, that when we are exposed to hours of content from particular celebrities or particular, not celebrities, I'm going to stop calling them celebrities. When we are exposed to hours of content from internet content creators, influencers, actors, singers, when we are exposed to their content for hours on end, and especially if we consume their works visually, our brain literally cannot tell the difference between sitting in front of somebody we actually know and sitting in front of somebody we don't, because our minds have consumed the same amount of hours for that singer or for that actor or for that entertainer as we have for our work colleagues, as we have for our family members, maybe even more so. Because what are we doing in our private time when we're not surrounded by family and when we're not surrounded by friends? We're watching people on the TV, right? We're watching people on our laptops, on our tablets, on our phones. So that's what we're doing when we're alone, when we're not around people that we actually know. So our brains continuously exposed to this visual stimuli, it literally cannot tell the difference. We can tell the difference cognitively, but and our subconscious cannot tell the difference. That's why when people meet an actor or a musician, that's why people go so crazy, because it's like you're being reunited with somebody that your brain has formed a relationship with. And that's why we feel so entitled to these people's lives. That's why when they go through something, it feels like we're going through it. They feel like family, even though realistically, we know as much about them as somebody who's bumped into us in the street. What they tell us is never going to be the whole story of who they are, because most human beings don't know who they are in the first place. So if most human beings don't know who they are in the first place, then when an actor or a musician talks about their lives, how the fuck are we going to know what they're really like? If they don't even know themselves, how are we going to know them? How is a stranger, for example, from the UK going to know an actor living in America or from America? How am I going to know that person better than they know themselves when I've never even fucking met them? Doesn't make any sense. But realistically, that's cognitively. But our subconscious, to me and that person who lives like thousands of miles away, we might as well be family because of how much I have consumed of their image in my brain. This is why manifestation is so important. I should have put this on my Empress Justice Tarot channel. I actually might still do that. Um, that's why watching TV or reading books can be just as important, and watching TV can be just as important as fucking actually being there, because your brain is not making the distinction. Your subconscious brain is not making that distinction. Your cognitive mind is, but only just. But your subconscious isn't making that distinction. That's why we feel very close to these people. But this is where I'm about to get into some real shit that a lot of people would disagree with me on. On the 48 Laws of Power, I can't remember which law it is, but Robert Greene pointed out something that is actually very true. People that you love can be, the more that you love people, or the more that you have people you love in a relationship, is the more we become entitled when it comes to one another. And this is actually true. Once again, this goes back to celebrities. Not celebrities, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use that word. This is what happens with entertainers and artists. I don't think that artists and entertainers and musicians and actors, I don't think they realize when they reach a certain level of success, I don't think they realize just how much they give us every single day of their lives. I don't think they realize it. I think artists and entertainers are so busy working hard, working all the hours God sends, meeting people, talking to execs. I think they give so much of themselves to us. I don't think they even realize how much they give, which is why when people demand autographs or people demand their time, they just smile and they just sign their autographs and they talk about how grateful they are. Because I don't think even artists and entertainers themselves realize how much they give to the entire fucking planet. I don't think they realize how much they give. I also think they don't realize. I also don't think they realize that the second they've completed a movie, or the second they've completed a song or an album or a piece of art, they have done their fucking job. To my mind, me meeting them and posing for an autograph, that is not part of their job. That is not their job. Don't get me wrong. It's a very good, it's a wonderful act of goodwill. It's respectful, it's lovely, but it is not something that I, as a member of the public, am entitled to. And I think that because artists and entertainers, they don't realize the value, I don't think they fully realize the value of the work that they put in, and nobody else does either, because everybody else thinks that art is something to be sniffed at. I don't think these people realize the value of their work, the true value of it, which is why both we and them feel like the public are entitled to more of their time than their work. And again, people might disagree with me on this, but I think the more you give is the more people feel like they're entitled to you. I think people feel like they're entitled to artists and entertainers because you guys give so much. It's not in spite of it. It's because they give so much that we feel so entitled to their time. It's because they give so much why we feel comfortable making them into avatars of our love lives or our financial success. That's why we feel comfortable doing it. It's because they give so much to us. It's not in spite of it. To me, if I saw Tom Hiddleston, or if I saw Daniel Kaluuya, or if I saw John Boyega, would I want to get their autographs? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Of course I'd want to do that. But I'm not entitled to get that. I'm not entitled to that at all. And I'm not entitled to those people being what I want them to be. They are human. And they're going to do what they're going to do when they're going to do it. They are human outside their jobs. And it's not up to me to dictate how they should feel, how they should be, I can have my opinion on it, but I'm not entitled to their lives like that. They've already given more than enough. More than enough. And this is coming from somebody who was probably worse than everybody else combined when it came to celebrity obsession. I've learned a lot. I am not entitled to their fucking time. I'm so sorry. I am not entitled to their time. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for your art. Thank you for your music. Thank you for your movies. Thank you for your literature. Thank you. But I'm not entitled to you. I'm not entitled to your time. The only thing I ask is that if you're gonna do your job, do your job. But I'm not entitled to your time. I'm not entitled to your time. Not at all. Which brings me to my third point. My third point is that we really need to be kinder to each other. And we really need to be honest about why we do the things that we do. We need to stop treating our subconscious as an enemy and try to understand it. We need to start taking responsibility for our actions, but stop taking the blame for the way that we fucking feel. We need to. Because that is what causes most of our problems in life, including the entitlement towards artists and entertainers and all that type of stuff. Oh, we need to be kind, we need to be empathic, and we need to realize that we're all human in this bitch. Danny Lacey, God rest his soul, or spirit rest his soul, because he's no longer with us. He created a animated series called Crack Duck. And the titular character says something along the lines of, we're just bags of living meat floating on a rock, living on a floating rock and feeling everything, and we don't decide who we are. And I think there's some truth to that. And I think the recognition of that is what might make us just a little bit more empathic. And, it might make us realize that other people's lives are not really about us. We can empathize. But I think when it comes to people in the public eye, we don't empathize. We act like it's empathy, but it's not. We're burying our feelings beneath nonsense, and because we're burying our feelings beneath nonsense, we try to intellectualize our sickness. We try to intellectualize our lack of responsibility for our own actions. We try to intellectualize us blaming ourselves for how we feel. And then we project that onto people in the public eye. And I'm noticing that a lot. Even I did it. And yes, it makes us human. It's a part of what makes us human, but it's not proper empathy. And proper empathy, many of us won't be here. We're looking at the end of the world as we know it. Many of us won't be here. Life is too fucking short for us to be so entitled to each other. And life is too short for us to be so, to lack so much empathy and to turn everything that we do into a political statement. Like, life is too fucking short for that shit. Artists and entertainers are not our avatars. They do not speak for us. They speak for themselves. They've done their job. They've done their work. They've done their jobs. They have done their jobs. They do not owe us to represent anything. They don't owe us that. And especially when they're marginalized, they don't owe anybody that. They don't owe anybody that. We don't know them. So we need to stop projecting our shit onto them. It's not fair. It's not fair. And you can disagree with me. It's okay. It's okay. If you feel like what I'm saying is not cool or not right, that's how you feel. It's all right. Just don't take those feelings and use them to be unkind to me or anybody else who disagrees with you. It's fine. But that's how I feel. We're not entitled to these people's lives. We are not. And, if we want to use them as an escape from our own lives, we need to be honest about the fact that we're doing that. And maybe not do that anymore. But I don't know. Probably a long way off from that. But anyway, I love you guys. Take care. Bye bye.